Missile cars. Missile cars are GTA Online's very unique archetype of vehicle. No other game really seems to have them, at least not as mainstream. The vehicle meta, the vehicle balance is like GTA's bread and butter. It's what makes PvP cool. Essentially, right? There are tanks, there's helicopters, there's planes, there's not that many boats. The boats are kind of underutilized, but these are generally the integral food groups of any game depicting PvP in vehicle on vehicle. But missile cars, you don't really find them anywhere else. It's kind of just something that's unique to GTA. And I love them. You know, the Stromberg, the Deluxo, the Scramjet. Each and every one has its own playstyle. They're like classes more than anything, right? And so they were the first look for me at finding a ground vehicle, I guess. See, I got this problem. I like airplane too much. I love airplane. I always up in pyro and kill plane. But the thing is, I'm missing out on a ton of GTA PvP, and I have a lot of buddies who like being on the ground, and I'm disconnected from them. I'm always the air support. And don't get me wrong, I love it. It's fun. But it gets boring sometimes. It's almost too easy, especially when it just comes to killing like a free mode laser or something like that. You know, it's nothing. So I look to missile cars for a vehicle, something that could be fun on ground, something that fits a niche play style, has little quirks, and has several layers of ability to learn. That's my thing. That's my bing bang. Today, I am very excited to talk about the only ground vehicle I really love, and that would be the Toreador.
Toreador submarine.
Toreador car.
Look at the Toreador.
The point is, if you drive this vehicle, if you give it some love, you understand the history, the gravity, the playstyle, everything awesome, the only thing the Oppressor Mark II will fear is you. So, let's get into it. Now, what exactly is this video? Is it a review? Is it a guide? Or do I just like the sound of my own voice? This guy does. Well, it's kind of all of that, and it's a history, because there's so much to it. It's surprisingly intuitive. It's got a weird reputation. See, unlike most vehicles in the game, everybody knows about the Toreador, and almost everybody uses it. But it's got kind of a brain-dead user base, like most vehicles. Most people just see it as, I drive at the Mark II or the streetcar and I kill. That's not wrong, but there's more to it. The vehicle itself is strange because it's a reflection. It is the once in a while that Rockstar actually cares. I am very, very sure that they put this thing in the game as their last straw to try and counter the Mark II without changing it. The Mark II, Rockstar didn't know what to do about the Mark II. They've never really known. It seems simple, right? Everybody wants it nerfed, but there are just as many Redditors that love it. It's the perfect grinding tool. It's the perfect PvP tool if you're not very skilled and don't want to take the time to learn a vehicle and be good. It just makes everything so gosh darn easy. And this is a player base that likes easy. It's casual. This isn't a competitive PvP game. This is all about just scoof around and having fun. And what's more fun than denying other people's ability to have fun? Smiley face. Now they did try once. They tried the cooldown, and that did literally nothing. It's so easy to work around, and honestly, it takes a lot more than 5 minutes to kill a Mark II that doesn't want to die if you don't really know what you're doing or have a good vehicle. Overall, this thing just never had a solid counter. But you know what did have a really solid counter? The precursor, the Mark I. Now the Mark I we actually thought was overpowered at that time. Aren't we just the silliest of gooses? And we wanted it gone. If you want to know where Rockstar's headspace can be at sometimes, remember they buffed it. They made it 2. They made a second one. But before the Toreador and before the Mark II, what killed the Mark I, you ask? Well, that would be Papa Stromberg. The very original missile, not the original. The original was the Ruiner. But this one was where it got spicy, and it made mincemeat of Mark Is. It was pretty much impossible to kill a Stromberg with a Mark I, and that was what was wonderful about it. And so, naturally, they tried to make a Stromberg Mark II. That sounds a little bit goofy, I know, but just think about it, right? They just kind of threw this thing into the Cayo Perico heist. It doesn't have a trade price, it's not in the mission. You don't really use it for anything concerning that heist. They just kind of slid it in there. And I think this is very purposeful, right? See, the A10, the B11, they just threw that into the After Hours DLC because, well, everybody wanted it. Who hasn't told their friend, man, it'd be cool if they had an A10 in this game? Also, check out this livery. This is a very cool livery, and I didn't use GTA Plus to get it. I glitched it because I'm awesome, and you're a nerd if you have GTA Plus, Jacob. Now, if you look here on the side, you'll see there are 3 Mark IIs. Kill tallies. Oh, they know. Even if they didn't know before, and my theory is a little bit bogus, they know now. This is the Predator to the Apex Predator. This is the one thing that will kill the Mark II. But of course, the Mark II's nerfed now. Well, there's a lot of things that can kill it. So, where does it sit now? Where is this vehicle? How does it stand up? And what is the playstyle? Well, the playstyle is, well, I guess the closest analogy I can make is the Ronin Titan from Titanfall 2. You know, the best video game ever made?
No response, but hey, you're ready back to back. Just on the running on a midnight train. Back to back. Conscience is slipping to the air. Back to back. Cannot let anyone do it again. Back to back. I can't look of
Have you played Titanfall 2? Have you played Titanfall 2? You can't play Titanfall 2. They ruined the servers. So the Tone Titan, right? Big robot that is, well, it's hit and run. It's all hit and run. If you couldn't tell by that big sword and a shotgun, it's not exactly a ranged fighter. It's not for clearing long distances, and it is not a mainline slugger by any means. This thing is paper thin. You need to be strategic and mobile. It doesn't do particularly too much DPS, and it can't take a lot at all. But why is it still so good? Why is it my favorite Titan? And why can I absolutely shred with it? You think I'm wrong? 1v1 me, bro. Custom servers are still up. I'll fuck you up. So how does this translate to the Toreador? Well, firstly, we need to talk about its mobility. This thing actually, it's not even close to a great racing car. It turns pretty terribly. 180s are almost impossible, so do never count on the ability to bring the nose, or I guess front bumper around. Sorry, fighter pilot turns and all that. It's getting in my head. But the boost is where things get interesting. See, unlike most of the cars, it's a short launch, short recharge boost. It doesn't exactly send you to lunar orbit like the scramjet. But what it is great at is getting in and out of a fight. You boost in, you get your shots off, you can use it to evade missiles, but it's not necessary, and then you just get out of there before they even see you hit them. It's also great for if you're being chased. Obviously, you're probably gonna hit obstacles, light poles, cars, people. Well, you're gonna lose energy, speed. You're gonna lose speed, and you need that back fast. If there's a night truck behind you, you need to get out of there very fast, and the boost is great. It gives you back all that speed. It has a relatively low top speed, but as long as you can stay at that around corners, between cars, and even after you hit cars, you're getting around fairly quick. The missiles are also very much worth talking about. Now, pretty much in front of this car, there is a big zone. The zone says, fuck you if you fly and don't go past 200 miles per hour. These missiles are very, very hard to evade. You can never count on evading them. Certainly not a Mark II. If that thing doesn't chaff or get very lucky with its flares, it's not even a fight with Mark IIs. It honestly feels unfair. If nothing else, make sure your buddies are commending you and make sure you're doing some free mode missions. You're gonna rack up bad sport points like an NBA player racks up assault charges. Now, the anti-Mark II isn't like everybody knows this thing is for killing Mark IIs. But for everything else as well, I mean, Deluxos, helicopters, anything lightly armored or B-11s, because they're usually not going to dodge your missile, this thing will just take them out of the air like that. Now, I really need to stress the run part of hit and run, because here's the thing. You just do not want to count on tanking shots with this thing. Missile hits you, you're going to be rolling. Honestly, like, a Toreador 1v1s are RNG on who wins. You're going to flip a lot. You need to get out of there before the missile even hits you, and you need to be smart with your thrust. I know it feels very cool to go very fast and try and boost away when missiles are on you, but that's not really how missiles work in this game. If you get airborne, there's missiles on you, they're going to kill you. Don't panic boost. You really don't need that speed to dodge missiles either. You can just drive in a straight line at a Mark II or even another Toreador and the missiles will hit the ground behind you. Generally, what you just want to do is hold down the left bumper because honestly, while you're flying around, you're probably still going to get that missile off that kills the Mark II. Overall, you need to be smart. You need to make sure that every fight you go into, you can get out of just as quick. Learn the map routes, learn streets, learn corners, and learn where you can repair. For the love of God, don't use the auto shop and don't use the car meet. That is how you get a black screen, my friend. But you can use LS Customs, interiors, back of Avengers. If you don't mind your car organization getting messed up, make sure to put it in your spawn garage. That's where you want to keep it, or wherever you warp. Or your MOC, actually, as well. I'm going to throw that in there. Put this thing in your MOC. If you don't have something special back there, wink, wink, it's great to call in on a dime because I know for certain this thing has got me out of a lot of pinches when I go down in my pyro, as typically there's a Mark II coming after me the second he sees me on the floor. Also, make sure that you're staying away from people on foot if you're an auto aim. You can goof around a little and sit outside their range and hit them with MGs or rockets, but generally, they're going to shoot you out no matter how fast you're going, so just be mentally prepared for that. And if you shoot down a Mark II, clear the area because there's a fucking 50-50 chance they're going to spawn right next to you. Why are people so brain dead? Why do you play an auto aim? Like, why? You guys are proof that, like, this game is for morons. You know that, right? I mean, I play an auto aim. I'm not really, like, above you, but that's because there's no free aim lobbies. There's literally 3. There are probably 3 free aim lobbies at any given moment on next gen. But in free aim, it's a whole different story. You get to have a lot more fun and a lot more liberty getting around because even with the laser miniguns that are going to try and strafe you out, you still have a lot of room to maneuver. Overall, though, get used to staying away from people on foot. And if you do have to engage them, just run them over. That's honestly the best way to kill people. Like, I don't know why it works so well. I mean, I know why it works so well, but Jesus, it works really well. Just have fun, man. And also the last thing I want to touch on is, well, this thing works really well as it's a combo vehicle. Now, every vehicle in this game has a lot of layers to it, some more than others, but it's generally the most fun thing, at least for me in this game, to learn vehicles and learn their uses, you know, get in depth with how they're used. It's its whole little rabbit hole of understanding the strange quirks of vehicles and why learning one small thing might change everything for, say, the PvP meta. Take, for example, the Upside Down Mark II. Standard Mark II is busted. Upside Down Mark II? Good lord. Now, that is just singular vehicles, getting to know them in depth and all the potential there. But combos, mathematically, are exponentially, I'm not going to use nerd speak, there's a lot more to combination vehicles. And the Toreador opens up a lot of doors because, again, it's a Mark II deterrent. Now, even though it was nerfed, the Mark II, Helicopters Deluxo, they still make things like a Kinjali pretty irrelevant, right? If any of those are around, it's probably going to kill you, and that's what still sucks. But if there's a Toreador around, things get a lot more interesting. Because, again, like, say, a Kinjali, a Mark II is going to make a beeline for it, and that thing's certainly going to tank a few rockets before, you fire one and kill that Mark II, because it's not going to know you're there. If you're nearby any weaponized vehicle, everybody around you is going to hyper-focus on that, because to them, you're just a street car. Again, nobody's going to pay attention to you, and that is the beauty of it, because you are an accessory to opening doors of a lot of other vehicles. And to end it off, I will use, well, the first example to give you some inspiration. Y'all know, my homie Saucy Cakes, hopefully, he uses the Scarab. Now, the Scarab, it's not really a great PvP vehicle. Don't get me wrong, he kills a lot of people with it, but if people want him dead, he's usually going to die or he's going to have to run away. Mark IIs, for example, still a big problem for them. They're only really hindered by their brain deadness. But with me around, well, Saucy Cakes doesn't have to fear a darn thing about the Mark II, does he? And so, we get to have a lot of fun, because there's a whole little thing I haven't even talked about. Now, his vehicle is the Scarab, and it is very good at throwing things around. Throwing cars, throwing people, throwing cars at people, killing people in passive, all that good jazz. It's not really PvP. It's an entirely different fun game of non-consensual bumper cars. And it turns out the Toreador's a great little accessory to have. Our little combo goes as such. If there's a nice car on the map, we need to make sure it is unnice. We are going to double team you until there is nothing left. Rip and tear, motherfucker. So, chasing a street car, for example, well, if he gets them with a little shunty shunt, they're not getting anywhere. But the problem is, he's not as fast as most street cars or agile around the streets. But who is? Ya boy. So we have this awesome combo where if they run, they get pitted. And if they don't run, they get shitted. I could make the whole video about this. It is so fun. Honestly, just as a singular, just get a Toreador and just launch people. They don't even get angry half the time. How angry would you get if a dude launched your own car into you? And one last thing, just to wrap it back up, it was really nice to just get back on the street again. You generally, again, tend to dehumanize people. I'm 1,000 feet above most of the fights, but getting down on the ground, it was fun just to meet people again. Believe it or not everybody in this game wants to kill you. Majority of them do. But, pick up a random and go kill people together. Really, it was just nice to connect with the ground world again. And so that's what I want to stress. Hang out with your buddies, find some vehicle combos, make friends with randoms when they're not immediately trying to kill you, and if they do, well, you know what to do. Have a wonderful night, have a wonderful day. Be wonderfully gay. I don't know what rhymes with that. You have a good one. Bye-bye.